In last session we were discussing about the return keyword, and we are also concentrating on how to write methods. I'll just revise little about return keyword, and then I'll continue with calling the methods. Okay, writing the methods, signature of the methods. See, I'll just revise yesterday's thing only. So I'll write on class now. Return keyword I'll revise. I'll write class demo, and we have the main method. This is fine. And here I'll have an M1 method. I'll have an int a parameter. I wrote this logic yesterday. If a is less than 10, SOP a is less than 10. Else SOP a is greater than 10. This is the logic what you saw yesterday, no? So just observe the return keyword. SOP. Fine. So if I do like this, now I'll call the method M1 now. This will be a static method. Assume that this method is there where? Inside the class demo itself. This is just I'm writing that method, that's it. Okay, so when you call this method now, how will you call this? M1, and you pass a value called as 5. So you're invoking the method. So SOP begin main will start off, and also if you're writing SOP end main, it will also execute. You know where is this method now? It is inside this class itself. Okay, so when you say then this main method calls that, it will execute. Here also you can have SOP begin M1, and here also you can have SOP begin end of M1. So this is the code what we have written. So when you call M1 now, so naturally when you say send 5, obviously the if condition executes, but the control still proceeds. It will go to the last line, and then after the method completes execution, then the control is coming back. Yes or no? If I send a value of 15, same way, if condition doesn't execute, else execute, but after else all the statements are executed. You can write more statements here. SOP end of M1, SOP hello, all these statements will be executed. Yes or no? But there will be a requirement sometimes. You want to terminate the execution. If it is less than 10, I don't want these lines to execute. Which line? If it is less than 10, anyway, if condition is executed, else condition is skipped. Else will not be executed. But this portion will be executed now. If I do not want that portion to execute, that's when we terminate by using return keyword. Are you following now? So now what happens when you call M1 method, and if I send a value less than 10, what is the value I will be sending? 5. What happens now? If I send a value 5, it is less than 10. If the value is less than 10, it will execute this and control will immediately return. Else also will not be executed. Anyway, else would have not got executed. That is okay. But these statements also will be skipped now. So this is method termination. Are you following now? Yesterday I coded and showed you this. Just I am explaining on the board again. Because return is so important. Why am I explaining you return keyword again is because it is so important. So here return keyword is used for only termination. It is not used for returning a value. But now see, if I send a greater value, what is going to happen now? If condition is not, else is executed. But again it will execute these two lines now. If I do not want these two lines to execute, again I have to use one more return here. Understood? Else what will happen? If else condition would have executed. If I don't have a return keyword, again control will move here. If I do not want these lines to execute, you have to use return. So that time what happens? Else condition will execute and it will not continue executing, and the control will return back. So this is called as termination. Understood? This is how it gets terminated. And now the return type remains as what? Void itself. The return type remains as void itself. Understood? The return type will be void itself. But supposing if I want to return an int value, I can return. That's my wish. So here it's used only for termination, and here I cannot accept any value. I cannot say int z is equal to. Can I accept a value? Return type is void. How will you accept it? So now, if you want, you can return a value. So this is the code I wrote yesterday. Something like int p is equal to 0. If a is less than 10, I'll do like I'll say p is equal to 1, return p I'll say. Valid now? Else I'll say p is equal to 2, return p. Now compulsory in all the returns you have to use what? Type int only, because the return type is now int. All the return keywords should return what? Int. One cannot return one int, one cannot return double. So this is how it works. So here it is used for termination also, plus returning a value also. Understood? Sometimes what will happen, you will be using return keyword in the last line. Like see this, one add method is there. Here int x, int y. There are two, I'll say int z. I want to return the sum of both the numbers. So I'll say return z. Anyway, I'll start seeing how to write logics today. I'll say return z. Here my pure intention is for what? Returning a value. Here I'm not interested in termination. My pure intention is for returning a value. Because even if I don't write return here, control after completing the execution of this method is going to come back to caller now. Even after the completion of the method execution, anyway it's going to come back to caller. So here using return in the last line is waste, because anyway after completion of this method, it will come back. Okay, but my pure intention was of using return was to return a value. Here my intention is not to terminate. My intention is to return a value. But in this case, the intention is what? To terminate plus return value. Earlier I wrote void. Here see, understand all the conditions. Here my intention is purely to return a value. Here my intention is to terminate plus return value. Here my intention is to only terminate. All the possible conditions you understand. Clear this? These are the return keyword works. Clear? But you can return any type of value. When you are returning now, you can return any type of value. Today I will be teaching you that. How to return different type of values. The signature of the method. That I will be covering. Clear? Yesterday I wrote all the methods now. I will type that and then I will continue to show how to return different data types also. Are you clear with this? Okay. So return keyword always does what? Returns the control from callee to caller method. It's called as jump statement or transfer statement. Why it's called as jump? The control jumps. What is the use of jump statements? It is used to transfer the control from one part of the program to another part of the program. That's the same thing. It jumps from here, it jumps to that side. Jump statements. Now the third control statement is what? One is conditional, second one is iterative, third one is jump statement. This is jump only, na? So that's how it jumps. From there it will jump to caller. From the callee it jumps back to the caller. Are you clear with this? Just I revised. In case if you are having any doubts, I just clarified your doubts. After seeing yesterday's video, if you are having any doubts, okay, or after attending yesterday's class, if you are having any doubts, okay, just I am clarifying the doubts for you. Are you clear with return? No? But I told you it's a big subject. Gradually you will start understanding the return keyword. Gradually you will understand. But the basic idea is this. It is used for termination plus returning a value. That's the basic idea. Termination you have understood. Okay. Only returning different type of values you want now. That I will be showing you. Termination you have very well understood. Okay. But only returning different type of values is what you have to see next. I told you now when you are going to run return keyword you will get 4 questions. What are the 4 questions? What is the first question? What are the 4 questions you get? Yesterday I wrote this. What is the first question? How to send different, no, first one, return keyword you'll have the question. Second one, third one, yesterday I wrote some 4 questions. Among that only one has been answered. Next I was going with, scope is later. Data types, how to write methods. Third one will be scope. Fourth one also scope. Third one is scope in block. Fourth one is scope in, yes sir. Here I wrote yesterday. Return keyword was the first question which we are covering. At the same time when you are learning return keyword you will get other questions. Which are the other questions you get? How to write methods, different methods. How to write methods with different data type. Different data types means even in the, it might be in return type or it might be as parameters. Then scope of variables in block. What do you mean by scope? That's what your question will be. And block. And scope of variables in method. So this also cannot be covered today. Which two? Third and fourth cannot be covered today. So when you are going through this topic, these are the 4 questions definitely consistency you will be getting. Consistently you will get. Okay, we have only finished little about first one. Today I will be going into second one. Then we will learn this, and after completing all this, then you will understand the full subject. Okay? So do you have any questions here? Fine. Today I show you the effect of using return keyword in main method. That also I'll cover, and then I'll proceed to yesterday's programming. Effect of, this is a very important interview question. If I use return in main, what happens? If I use return keyword in main method, main only I'll use. Till now what was happening? We are using it in calling method. Okay, but now I'll use it in main itself. Let's see what happens. Shall I clear all this now? See, now main begins execution. Begin main. Look, don't concentrate on those two methods now. Concentrate only this one. I'll say SOP end main. In between I can write any logic. But see, begin main, end main. If I use return keyword here, what happens? What happens? See, the topic is effect of return keyword in main method. If you use return keyword in main method, what happens? That's the topic. Concentrate now. So this is actually how you write. Till now I was writing it in shortcut, but the main is always written like this: public static void main string args. This is the method. So if I use return, what happens? Okay. First, normally let us see the execution of main. If you don't use return, let's see what happens. First, let's see normally if you don't use return in main, what happens. So you are going to say Java demo. Java, what it will do, as soon as you type this in DOS prompt, you know the flow now. What is the flow? Operating system. What it will do, it will look for that exe file. Okay, and it will use the path variable. Just see the flow one by one. As soon as you type Java command in the DOS prompt, the path variable will be used, and it will identify where is this exe file, and the exe file will be identified. It will go to that location, and that exe file will start execution. That exe file is nothing but it is starting the JVM. To start the JVM, it will use tools.jar, and the JVM will be started. Once it is started, then it will load your class. Which class? Demo.class file will be loaded into the JVM. So JVM has started. This is demo.class, and you are having the main method. Okay, and this is how it works. So now you might have see, when the main method starts of execution, main can go on calling other methods. Stack will be built. So main will be the starting point of execution and the last point of execution. So you can have other methods like this. What you will be doing is, the other methods which you can have are, see, if this is your, supposing if you are having, this is demo class, and you are having main, you are having public static void main string args. You might have other methods, M1, M2, all these methods you might have. So this class is loaded into the JVM, and the execution in this class, the JVM is going to look for, there might be many methods, but JVM is looking only for main method, not any other methods. If that method is not there, you'll get what error? No such method found error. You'll get that error. If that method is not there, you'll get no such method found error. If the class is not there, you'll get what? No class definition found error. So when you type Java demo, class is there, it will load. If that class is not there, no class definition found error. If the class is there, in this class it will be looking for what? Main method. Other methods will not search. And main goes on executing now. It will call which one? It can call any methods. It can call M1, it can call M2, that is secondary. But end of the day, okay, if it goes on calling, the stack will go on building now. Main will call M1, understood. And then again after M1, see this, M1 it is calling, then it will call M2. After M1 completes execution, is removed from the stack. Then again M2 will be added on to the stack. Again M2 will be coming on to this. Understood. M1 is first in, first out, first in, last in, first out. Last in, first out. What comes first, it will go out. Okay. Sorry, what comes last will go out first. So like this it will be executing. M1 will come, it will go, M2 will come, it will go, and finally main will complete the execution. And as soon as main completes execution, program terminates. So main is the starting and ending point of execution, not only in Java, even in what? Other languages like C, C++ and all that. They are also the same story. But their process would be different. How they load their class into primary memory and all, where it gets executed, process is different. But see here the class is getting loaded into JVM, that's the runtime environment. In C they'll have their own runtime environment, and that file will be loaded into their runtime environment to execute. But end of the day, main is the starting point of execution there also, and main is the last point of execution there also. Are you clear with the flow now? So if you, as soon as the last line, as soon as the last part reaches in any method, let it be M1, let it be M2, we say the method completion has completed execution. Similarly, main also has completed execution. When main completes execution, generally we say the program has completed. We don't say program has completed when M1 has completed, when M2 has completed. We generally say the program has completed execution when main method has completed execution. So till then we say program is alive and running. Clear? So by chance if I use return in the last line now, no use. Okay, no use, because anyway main is going to complete execution, it will terminate. But definitely what is going to happen, if I use return keyword in the last line here, control will go back to the caller. Who is the caller of main now? JVM. JVM is also nothing but on program or method, you can think. Okay, it's on program. So it was invoking the main method. If you use return here, control will go back to the JVM and then it will terminate. But if I don't use return, main will complete successfully, but control is not returned to the JVM. That's the difference. Okay, but if I use return here, what is the, if I use here return in the last line, the return type of the method should be void here. What should be the return type of the method? Void, because I am not returning any value. Because I am not returning any value. Okay, but if I write return on the top somewhere here, what happens? Yes, now the main method is going to terminate. But if main method terminates, remember your program is getting terminated. If M1, M2 terminates, program is not terminated. But if your see, method termination is different, program termination is different. Okay, M1 terminated, M2 terminated, program doesn't terminate. Main is a method. If main method terminates, program is going to terminate. Understood? Program means application. Okay, program means application. So if I use return here, control will immediately go back to what? Caller. Who is the caller of main? JVM. So control will immediately return. Okay. So but you should not, generally we don't use return keyword in main method. Generally we never write. Who wants our program to terminate? Understood? But these are very tricky interview questions or SCJP questions. Simply to check your knowledge on return keyword, they'll be giving you some questions on this. They'll be giving you some questions. And then again, if I use return here, definitely I'll get an error now. What error I'll get? Unreachable code. Okay, I'll get the error. So I should not write any lines here. But definitely what's going to happen? Control will terminate and go back to caller. So see, return keyword, what it does is always it returns the control from callee to caller. Remember that. Okay, but if I use return here, definitely in the signature of the method, main should have what? Return type as void. Understood? So then fine. But we generally don't do this. Okay, let me show you some code otherwise. Better code, let's see. See, I'll write boolean b is equal to true. If b, SOP, welcome. See, these values will be hard. I'm hard coding right now. Later on, what will happen? Else, SOP, not welcome. See this now. You clearly understand. SOP not welcome. SOP end of main. See how it was working in M1 method, same way it is working here. There is no change. If true, what will happen? It will execute. And it will execute what? End of main also. I am not returning still. If this is false, what happens? If true will not execute. False will execute, but end of main is executed. In both the conditions, I see either if will execute or else will execute. But definitely end of main is getting executed. Definitely it executes. Okay, but I do not want end of main to execute if it is true. If it is true, I do not want end of main to execute. So what will I do now? If it is true, condition. So if true, SOP welcome, I will only say what? Return. Valid. Just to understand how the term give you tricky questions. It can be twisted. This is a program. But the question can be twisted in many ways. So now return keyword can be used in any method. Remember that. Okay. So when JVM calls this, if true, it will execute this and the control will return, and else anyway would have not got executed. But this will not execute now. And will not get unreachable code error. Why? Because if it is false, this line I want to execute now. If it is false, what I want? I want this line to execute. Understood? But what is the return type of the main method? Void. Understood? Now one more thing we'll take. Int a is equal to 0. If true, I'll say A is equal to 1, return A. Okay. Else, okay, I'll not return anything. This is also possible. But return type should become what now? Int. Okay. But there is no use of returning what? Our stupid value to the JVM. This is a stupid value only, no? What will JVM do with your value? 1. Understood? So we can't return any value to the caller. Here, in this case, I can't return any value to the caller. Earlier we were returning values to the caller. Why we were returning? Yes, the caller needed the value. But here main method or JVM does not need our value. Here the JVM does not need. If I want, I can return. See, if A is equal to 1, return A. Else A is equal to 2, return A. Now this time this code will go error. I can't, because see, return both this time it will return off. But what should be the return type now? Int. This is not going to be allowed now, because let's type and see this. If I use return keyword in main, what happens? Let's see this. Okay, I will only see with error only will see it. So, but you can't return a int value to main method. If you return also, there is no use. That is why in all the languages, especially C, C++ and all that, the return type of main is always void. The return type of main is always void. In C also, if you return a value, int value, what will the runtime environment do with your value? So we can't return. If you want, you terminate the main method by using return, but don't try to return a value to the caller of main. If you want to terminate main method, that's optional. Okay, but generally we do not do it. Or you might terminate it based on a condition. You might terminate it based on a condition, like if true, return, else, something like that. You might, some program is there, you can do that. I'm not saying no. But you can't return a value from main to the caller. You can't. Because even if the value is given, there is no use of it. So these questions will be asked in interview for you. Why can't main return a value? If it returns, what will happen? Okay, because if main returns a value, it will be given to the caller, that is JVM. So there is no use of returning a value to the JVM. So that's why we don't prefer to return a value to the JVM. That's it. Understood? But let us code and see this. Okay, I will only show you the effect of return in main. These programs are clear for you now? Yesterday I coded these two. Only I will code this one and show it to you now. After this I will continue with what? Methods. We are discussing with methods now, I will continue that. Clear? Shall I clear all this? Because you could see, if this is your class, if this is your JVM, if you, this is, sorry, demo class, main method, if you say return, control will immediately return to whom now? JVM, caller. Understood? If I say return A, some value, it will be given to the JVM. See here, in the diagrammatically also you can see it. Clear? So you should know which keyword to use where while programming. You should be at least that much capable enough to decide what code to write where. And all these statements, what I thought, if, else, they are always written in methods. Remember that. These are statements what you are writing. You will be writing it in methods only. If, else, try, switch case, whatever I taught you. So all this will be used in methods itself. So return in main demo. Clear this? Okay, I'll save it in this. You can save it in 11th program, no problem. I'll be doing, okay, 11A, I'll make it off. 11A, return, okay, return, okay, that's it. Return in main demo. Fine, let's see this now. See, See, the effect, what you are seeing is same in all languages. You are only not learnt it in C and C++. I am showing you return keyword in depth here. Nobody will go in depth into so much of which one? Return keyword. 5 minutes they'll finish it off. But return is so important, that's why I'm stressing so much on return keyword. If you use in M1 what happens, M2 what happens, main method what happens. But I'm not saying it's over also. Minimum we'll see it for 1 month. Return keyword, I'll return plenty of values, then you'll understand all that. So return is very, very important. First let's see the normal flow. See, if I want I can say control 2 is nothing but what? Java demo only. Control 2 is a shortcut for Java demo. You want me to type in .NET or this is okay? This is okay, no? Fine. So what is it doing now? You can see all the 3 lines are getting executed. So here, anyway, after the main method terminates, JVM will shut down. Here control is not given after main completes execution. Control is taken over by JVM, but we are not returning the control to JVM. After main completes execution, control is taken over by JVM. Sorry, after the main method completes execution, control is given, taken over by the JVM and JVM shuts down. Understood? But if I use return here, control is deliberately given back to the JVM. You are giving it back. No, return. Why? Because return will return the control to the caller. Anyway, the effect is same. There is no change. But behavior wise internally there is a lot of change. Here what's happening? Before the main method completes execution, main is handing back the control to JVM. It is handing back the control. Understood? And return type should be void here because you are not returning any value, no? So it is what? Same output, but there is a lot of difference in behavior. Lot of difference. Earlier what was happening? Main was completing execution and control was taken over, sorry, main method was completing execution and control was taken over by JVM. But this time I am forcing the main method to give back the control to JVM. Understood? Fine. Here the output is same, but the effect internally is different. Okay. So fine. But if I use return, in which line? Above this line. Error no? Unreachable code. Because your method is getting terminated. Valid. So a compilation error only will get unreachable statement. This is valid. Okay. Now let's see some more coding. Like I'll have boolean. You can have any variable. Boolean b is equal to true. If b I will print welcome. We will print not welcome here. Fine. But I cannot use return here. Again, unreachable code. Fine. Let's see now what happens. I'm not using return anyway. See this? But either if or else will be executed. Either if or else. And after if or else, the statement will definitely be executed now. Either of it will execute. Both of them. If and else, both will not execute. But after if and else, last statement will definitely execute. See this. End of main is executed now. Welcome is executed. Not welcome will not execute. Because either if will execute or else will execute. That flow you know now. See if it is false, what will happen? Else will execute and says not welcome and end of main. So now I do not want end of main to execute if it is true. So that is when I will give return. Correct now? Yes or no? So if it is true, then the control will return. If it is false, not welcome will print plus end of main will print. So it is false now. So not welcome and end of main will print. Not welcome and end of main is getting executed. Clear? Fine. But if it is true, control returns. See there. Inside main, welcome, control returns. The else is definitely not going to execute, fine. But the statement after else is not getting executed. That's very important. So this is fine. If I want here also this one not to print or no statements to be executed after else also, If I don't want any statements to be executed after else also, there also I have to use return. Else the control will go continue. And now it will get unreachable statement error, because control will definitely not go there. See this. Control is definitely, and you have to remove this. It's detected by compiler. And you can say, now it compiles true or false. Control will not go ahead. If also it will terminate, else also it will terminate. Control will not move ahead of if else. Either it will, if it will execute and terminate, else it will execute and terminate. It will not move ahead. Clear this? Fine. So fine, then this is okay. But what about returning a value, int value now? Here this was used only for purely termination. I'll try to return an int value. Let's see what happens. Int p is equal to 0. If it is true, I'll say p is equal to 1 and I'll say return p. Else p is equal to 2 and we'll say return p. Valid? Return type should be what? Let's compile, let's see what happens. Cannot return a value whose return type is void. It just use the normal. Compiler is only checking for syntax. It is not seeing whether you are writing return keyword in main method. Compiler is not seeing whether you are writing return keyword in main method. Compiler is just checking the normal syntax. For how it checks for other methods, same rule is applied to this method. Compiler will never look for main method in Java. Fine. If I have my return type as int, no. Okay, unreachable statement, missing return statement. Okay, I have to comment this because that code will never be executed. Now let's compile. Compiles. No such method found error. So it gives you error, something like it's looking for which method? Main with void. JVM is looking for, so JVM has been designed in such a way that it looks for main method only. That too with void return type. Otherwise it will not execute only. Are you seeing the error now? What is the error? No such method error. Main is not there. Okay. If you want, I'll do one thing. I'll write one more method with what? Void main. I'll write one more method with, anyway this will become confusing for you. Later on this will become clear. If I write void main, this will execute. I'll not print anything here. Just see this. And don't get confused with all this. Later on you'll understand, because this subject leads into how to write methods. This is the story of method writing. Now this second method inside begin. This will execute. Now this will, no, it's already defined. Anyway, it gives you error. It gives you error. Just understand that it gives you error. So what is happening here? Here JVM looks for main with void only. Okay, it looks for main with void only. So I'll explain you all this very clearly later. So compulsory when you write a main method now, it should have what? Return type as void. Only then it will execute. So obviously if it is void, you can't return what? You can't return any value now. You can return the terminator, but you can't return what? This will give you a value, error now. You are returning P. So this will not happen. So return, this you remove now. Now this will work. Perfectly it works. Clear? So return type should always be void. And one more thing, you cannot have capital main also here. This is highly case sensitive. Again you'll get what error? No such method found error. So JVM is looking for main with small m, main with small m, and return type void only. Okay, how JVM is looking for this? Slowly you'll understand later. Okay, because I have to complete more topics. I have to explain you what is public, I have to explain you what is static, I have to explain you this. Then you'll understand how the JVM is calling this method. So I'll in detail I'll tell later. Okay, what is all that? But just as I explain you mainly here, return type. Just focus on return type again. I told you when I am teaching you return type, many other doubts you'll get. Don't bother about that, just focus only on return keyword. Understood? So many other doubts you'll get, but just focus only the effect of what? You don't look into what is string args, what is capital main now and all that. Can I use return keyword in main method? Yes, I can use return keyword in main method. And using return keyword in main method terminates the main method. Termination of main method is nothing but termination of program. Okay, but in main method return keyword can be used only for termination, but not for returning a value. That's all. In main method return keyword can be used only for termination of the main method, but not for returning a value. If you try to return a value, compiler will give a error, runtime will give a error saying that no such method found error. Method found error. If you try to use it also, runtime environment will give error, no JVM. No such method found error. No such method found error main, it will tell you that. Clear with all this? Clear? So this is the effect of using, are you clear with all this now? If I use return keyword in main method, you can only terminate. Means you can only if you want you can use return keyword in main method, but it helps only in termination, but not in returning a value. It will not help you in returning a value. In other methods you can terminate plus you can return a value. Like in M1, M2 and all, you can terminate plus you can return a value. This is the behavior in Java. Almost all same behavior will be having in what? I think in C, C++, I don't know how strictly they are following all this. In fact, this will help you in programming a lot. Otherwise what will happen now? You will try to return some value, control will go somewhere, control will be somewhere. Those other languages are having problem. Java is very strict about all this. So it helps you in syntax a lot. Okay. So this is how the effect of using return keyword in main method. Do you have any questions with this? No questions now? So I'll continue writing what now? Methods. Yesterday I wrote so many methods now. I'll execute all the methods one by one now. Okay, yesterday I wrote around 6 methods I think. First I'll write all the 6 methods. Okay, and then we'll continue with what? Other data types. First focus on only int only. Yesterday what I wrote, same methods I'll write first. Then I'll go to double, boolean and all what you want I'll teach you. Clear? Okay. So but yes, before we proceed, what is signature of the method? Return type, name, parameters. These are parameters, list of parameters you can say, list of parameters. You can have 0 parameter, 1 parameter, 2 parameter, it depends. Okay, these 3 things put together, return type, name, list of parameters, 3 things put together makes it as signature of the method. You know signature na? You sign na? That's same thing, signature of the method. So now to invoke a method you should know the signature. Remember that. Otherwise you can't invoke the method. Methods you'll see, generally it so happens that we very rarely write methods. Methods contain reusable logic. Yes or no? So what happens in Java, it starts saying very rarely we write methods because all logic is ready made. We don't write. You should only know how to invoke methods. So to invoke a method you should know the signature properly. The name also you should know, parameter also you should know, return type also you should know. Return type is very essential for accepting the return value. Parameter is very essential for sending the arguments. And name is very essential for executing the logic. Which logic you want? You have to execute that. Are you clear with this? Shall I continue coding now? I'll directly start coding. Yesterday I've written all the methods. So you go on telling me the signature. What is the first method signature? What is the second method signature? Because I wrote yesterday, I don't remember it. Okay. So I'll go on typing all the methods now and start invoking. So you tell me the signature of the methods one by one now. So this is where it starts off. Your programming in Java starts off from here. I almost all completed the features of the Java language. All the features are over. Now the next topic what we are moving is methods. Once I complete method writing, then we'll move into user defined data types. Method writing is very essential. Okay. So I'll be covering this now and yes. You can give the class name. 1 second. So you can today you create one more folder. What is the second folder you'll create? 11 B methods. All your next programs you can start saving it in your this folder. 11A was used for what? Return keyword. 11B for, let's see this. Name your folders properly so that you will have clear idea about which code is where. Else later on you'll be finding it very difficult to identify your code where it is. So this was the earlier folder what I created. Which one? 11A return. Now I am creating one more folder by name 11B. Means in one day only sometimes we will discuss two topics. One day only. So that time you can get 11A, 11B, 11C, 2, 3 like that. Means 11th day A, B, C like that. It will be identified for you. Okay. So 11B. So here I will say the file method demo is the name I given dot Java. Say the file. Fine. So first check whether it executes. Brilliantly it executes. No problem. Yes. Let's start seeing the first method. I wrote the first method as what? Static void M1. Yes or no? No parameter, no return type. I can write SOP inside M1. Begin M1 inside M1 method, end M1 method. Begin main. So put lot of SOPs, then only you can trace the flow. Inside main, end main method. Done. So now see, as it is, even though there are two methods here, JVM is going to call only one method. Which one? Main. Main is the starting point of execution. It is not invoking M1. So it is the duty of main to invoke other methods. So where you want to invoke M1 method, that is your wish. You can invoke M1 in first line, or you can invoke it in second line, or you can invoke it in third line. So that is your wish. So what I'll do, I'll invoke it here. Just I'll call M1 method. That's it. Now the flow changes. Main will call M1. Okay. So see, first main will call these two, it will execute those two lines. Control will shift to my M1. All these lines will execute. Then control will come back to main method. So the flow is very clear. See, begin main, inside main, then controller shifted to begin M1. Okay, begin M1, inside M1, end M1, end main. Control shifts back. Yeah. And now here, if I try to accept a return value, anything, int p is equal to error now. Why? See, you are trying to assign a value to p. That's the actual meaning of it. You are using assignment operator, means you are trying to assign a value from right hand side to left hand side. When you are not getting a value only, where is the possibility of assigning it? I don't know in C and all, I have not tried this out, but in C what happens, if you generally, sometimes junk value will be stored. And during runtime you start getting problems. Understood? So that problem is not going to happen in Java. It is detected at compilation time itself. Understood? These problems don't happen in Java. So it's having a very good syntax, incompatible type, found void. But you are saying you want int. Like that, some message it gives you. Are you clear? So if it is void, you can't accept any value. Are you clear with this? Okay, I'll comment this now. So the next method, what is the signature of the second method I wrote? What is the signature? M2, the method name. Int a, only one parameter. Return type? Void. Okay. Begin M2 method. Inside M2 method, then I can print something. Anything, whatever code you want to execute, that's your wish. Value of A is, how you use A, that's your wish. Caller will give the value to callee. Caller is giving the value to callee. But I'll focus on the signature, not on return type and all that. Okay, just see. So now if I call M2, compulsory what should this do now? It has to send an argument. Directly you can hard code the value and send. M2 I'll send 15 or something like this. Fine. Or let me put it, make still clear for you. See this. There is a variable by name int p is equal to 5. Okay, there is a variable by name and the value of p I want to give it to what? A here. It is out of scope now. Isn't it out of scope? So how do I give it? See, if it is in local scope, we use the assignment operator and assign the value. If it is out of scope, in a different method, I'll use the argument and parameter. So caller will send the argument to parameter. It assigns the value to the parameter. That's it. Same thing happens. What? I have shown you this now. This program I have shown you. So what will I do now? Just I will send P. That's it. So it will come here now. How you use A? That's your wish. Value of A is, now see the flow. Begin main, inside main. Now begin M2, inside M2. Value of A is 5. Okay, I have not changed the print statement here. End of M2. That one thing I had to change. Okay. So begin main, inside main. Begin M2. Where I'll keep this. Okay, begin main. Okay, inside main, then the control shifts. Oh, I'm keeping it here. So begin main, inside main, M2, inside M2, value of A is end of M2, end of main. This is how the control gets executed. Are you clear with this? Now one more, clearly understand this. Now sometimes the argument and parameter can have same name. They will have same name. This is also possible. But that is a different A. This is a different A. They are in two different scope. Understood now? We'll be doing all this. So this is possible. And here what I should send now? A. The value of one A, I want to send it to A in another scope. Highly valid code. So now also, if you want to print the value here, 1 second, I'll come back to P only. This is P, this is P. Now see, anyway this was okay. Now if I modify A here, will it affect P? A plus is equal to, A plus is equal to 5. What will be the value of A now? A value is 6, huh? Value of A after modifying. Okay, here I will print value of P is. Carefully notice all this. Value of, it will be 10 actually. It's value of P is plus P before call. Value of P after call. So P will not be modified, yes or no? But what will be the value of A? Here. First it will print 5. Then it will print 10. A plus is equal to 5. Okay, so let's see the output. So value of begin main, inside main, value of P before call is 5. Begin M2, inside M2, value of A is 5. Then value of A before modifying, after modifying. Value of A after modifying is 10. See, this is before modifying. Where it is? Yeah, value of A is 5. This is before modifying. This is after modifying. Then end of M2. Control will come back. But value of P is still what? So value of P here and value of P is still 5. Before call and after call. Yes or no? This is point clear to you? Only thing what I'll change is, I'll make this as A. And that's a different A, this is a different A. Don't get confused. Are you clear with this? That A is belonging to this code. See, here there are two A's. But see, this is not possible. Int A is equal to 5. Int A is equal to A is error. Because this is local scope. But now what is happening? One A is in main. Another A is in M1. That is possible. So you will give the value of one A to another A. So is this doubt clear to you? This is error because both are in local scope. You can't give the value of A again to another declared here itself. I can give it to B, but I cannot give it to A. So clear? So practice programming all this, you'll understand. You cannot find, it's okay, P. So what you are printing, I have changed it to A now. So you have to change it to what? A and A. Now see, same output, but only is, okay, I didn't change the print statement. It's value of A in main. You have to write like this, value of A in main before call, value of A in main after call, their value of, but what is the concept I am trying to tell is the argument and parameter can be having the same names. Are you clear with this? You can say value of A in main before call. Are you following all this now? Value of A in main before call, value of begin M2, A in this is 5, after modifying it is 10, end of M2, end of A in, value of A in main after call is 5. So this statement and this statement you can notice it is 5 itself. Clear? Fine. So this is done, M1, M2. Then okay, then this signature is over. Now let's concentrate on other methods now. Which is the other method? So M1 over M2 over now. Okay, next we'll write M3 method. What is the M3 method having? Signature, static void, int return type. Tell the signature, so static int return type, M3, no parameter. Fine. So you can write the method like this. So these are the different signatures. Begin M3 method, inside M3 method. So compulsory you write whatever logic you want here, that is secondary now. Okay, you have to return what? One int value now. So I can return. In the last line you should write now, because your intention is not to terminate now, your intention is to return a value. This is valid code. Return 10 directly you can say. This is valid. And who will accept here? If you call M3, anybody can accept. If you, that's optional now. If you call M3 you are getting a int value. Okay. So I'll have one variable here called as int A is equal to 0. Initially A value will be 0, but as soon as I call it A is equal to M3, what happens? Value of A in main is, that's all I'll need to remove. So value of A in main before call is plus A, first it will be what? 0, after call it will be what? 10. As simple as this. So before call is 0 there, or I'll change the value, I'll make it as 99, it will be visible clearly. So before call is 0, after call is 99. Yeah, so I can return. You can return directly like this, or you can store it in a variable and return. Int z is equal to 99. You can say return z. And see, the intention was what now? I wanted to give a value from callee to caller. That is why I used what? Return keyword. Don't forget all the basics, sir. Caller to callee, argument parameter. Callee to caller, return time. I'm returning int now. I'll move back. Slowly I'll move to what? Other data types. Pay more attention here. By the time you realize, I'll be somewhere. Okay, so just focus here. Are you clear with this? Any questions? Then the next method, what is it? So compulsory, you write any logic, you write logic of 1000 lines, nobody will question you. But finally the return type of this method should be int. Done? So then static, what is the next method? Int, void or int? Void. Then M4, what is the signature? Int A, comma, int B. One second, I'll just complete out this. See now this M3 method is returning a value now. If you want, you can accept the value or you can reject the value. See this, A is equal to M3. I'll reject it. So before call also it will be 0, after call also it will be 0. This is optional. If you want, you are losing the value of 99. So it's not mandatory to accept return type, but it is compulsory to send arguments. Yeah. Okay, now coming back to this method now. So here also return type is void. You can do anything here. You can modify, do whatever you want. That is your wish. Begin of what? M4. Value of A is, similarly if you want you can use value of B. That's your wish. I'll not modify. If you want use it, that's your wish. End of M4 method. So now I'll call which method? M4. So you can call M4 method. Now comment one by one and work like this. Then you'll have the clear idea of how to invoke. So here I have to compulsory send what? 2 arguments. So int A is equal to, I'll send 5 and I'll send one more value. Int B is equal to 6. Okay, so now if to call M4 method, if I try to call the method without arguments, error. You cannot call it. But to call M4 now compulsory I have to send. See this. Parameter argument compulsory, return type optional. So I'll send now. So the value of this A and B will be given to which one? This A and B. They are same. They are same. But still, that is a different copy of A. This is a different copy of A. That's a different copy of B. This is a different copy of B. Okay, it will be given now. So same way, like how I showed you with single parameter, you can work. Value of A, B is 5, 6. Value of A in main after call is 5. I printed only one here. Value of A in main after call is 5 it will print. Are you clear with this? Method invocation understood now? Okay, the last method we'll see off now. What is that? What is the last one? Huh? Int now return type? Static int. How many parameters? 2. Okay. You can write any logic here. That's your wish. You're having 3 values here. Sorry. See now. Begin M5 method. After you begin it, begin M5. So return type should be compulsory int. So right now there are 2 int values here. Value of A, B, all you can print. Then after that, I'll have one variable. This is optional. If you want to write logic here, I'm using that here. Int C is equal to A plus B. It's not that you have to add only. You can do anything with those 2 values. But compulsory, you have to return what now? 1 int. So among the 3 values, which value will you return? C, A, B. That's your wish. It depends on logic. Okay, here you are returning the result of sum of both the numbers. And once you do that, I cannot have the last print statement here. So I have to remove this. Clear? So now M5 method I'll call. How will I call M5? To call M5, what you should do? You have to send 2 parameters. M5 I'll call and I'll send A comma B. Return type will come now. It's optional to accept. If you want to accept and print int Z is equal to, I can call. So value of Z, I'll directly call off. Value of Z in main is, after call is this one. So I'll print what now? 11 now? Plus Z. So what should it print now? 11. Focus on only one output. Value of Z in main after call is 11. Are you clear with this? So you understood how to write methods, how to call methods. Here all things we dealt with int. Okay. So these are clear now. I'll be moving to the next data types. Clear? Okay. I'll be showing you double, all that I'll show. First I'll write it and then I'll start showing you now. See, there's one rule. What you have to remember now. What works in assignment will definitely work in argument and parameter. That basic you understand first. That's why I was focusing more on what? Assignment operator, typecasting and all that. I was teaching you so much on that. See, now supposingly this is, it can be any method. Int A is equal to 10. Now this A value, I can give it to one data type. A, I want to give it to one data type. It should be of type what? It can be of type what? Double. It can be definitely of type double, or it can be long, or it can be int. But I cannot give it to short now. I cannot give it to byte, default. I have to do explicit typecasting, that's secondary. Implicitly, how can I give the value? I can give it either to int, long or double. So fine, it will work. So if I use long L, this will definitely work. Means same way, I can have an M1 method with what? Long L, and you can send what now? Comment this. M1 I can pass A, L can accept it. It's winding conversion. So here, when you are sending values to, see when the values are in the same scope, when the variables are in same scope, directly you can give the value, okay, with assignment operator. But when it is in different scope, you have to send it as argument, okay. But here when you are sending as argument, only implicit casting will work. Explicit casting will not work. Means I cannot send int and accept it in byte. Remember that. Here you start getting error. This is narrowing conversion. Implicit conversion will not happen. Understood? For this M1 method, you have to compulsory send what? Byte or lesser value. There is no less value than byte. But if I have int, definitely I can send what? Byte, short and int. I can send all the values. I can send byte also, short also, int also. But if it is double, I can send any numeric value. Getting it now? So let's start saying this. First I'll show you with double and double. First I'll show you same type. Then I'll go with different type. But just I gave you the idea. Okay. So the broader your parameter is, okay, the more type of arguments you can send, provided it is compatible. The broader your parameter is, the more parameters you can send of different type. You're understanding now? The broader your parameter, means what? See, your parameters of type byte, I can send only byte here. But the broader, if it is supposingly int, I can send 3 types now, byte, short and int. But supposingly if it is double, now I can send all the numerics. Send byte, short, int, float, double, long also I can send. So the broader your parameter, the more different type of parameters you can send. The broader your parameter, the more different type of arguments you can send. The broader your parameter, the more different type of arguments you can send, provided it is compatible. Provided it's compatible. I am writing double means doesn't mean I can send char now. Char and double are not compatible now. Can you give the value of char to double in the same scope? No. Then where's the question of giving the value to another scope? Understood? So always it is up to you to decide to what width or what is the broadening capacity you want in your parameter. You decide. If you want only less than int, make it int only. If you want anything, then make it as double. That's how it works. So parameter has to be broader. Argument can be lesser. The broader your parameter, understanding now? The broader your parameter, the more different type of arguments you can send, provided it is compatible. I am adding that clause, provided it is compatible. If it is boolean here, I can send only boolean value. I cannot send int because they are not compatible. Can I give a boolean value to int in the same scope? Can I write this? Int a is equal to 10. Boolean b is equal to true. Can I say, okay, boolean b is equal to, I'll declare one value, boolean b. Can I say b is equal to a now? Or a is equal to b? Nothing can be done here. They are incompatible. Same rule is applicable here. So how good you know to work with your data types locally, that better you can send arguments and return type. Same rule be applicable to what? Return type. First learn arguments. Then automatically return type will become easy for you. Return type means what? If the return type is double, I can return any value. If the return type is int, only byte short I can return. Same rule will be applicable. First learn one side, other side automatically becomes easy to you. Means one side means argument parameters you learn one side correctly, return type will be automatically easy to you. So first I have to show you more arguments, more parameters. First I will show you all the basic data types. Once I complete the basic data types, next I will be going to multiple values, that is arrays. So you have to hold back till arrays, you have to hold back. I will show you how to send arrays also. But is this basic concept clear to you? So if you are getting confused why your value is not going here, first try it locally. You are trying to give what int to int now, try it locally. It is double to double, try it locally. Okay, supposing I want to give it to double D. Have one double D here itself. Don't call the method only. You are giving it to double D now. Write it here first. Double D is equal to A. If this works, definitely this will work. Understood? By chance, byte B is equal to A. If this doesn't work, now I cannot use byte here also. It's as simple as that. You don't have to write a method and struggle. And I'm not getting output, not getting output. You don't have to write a method and struggle. So I'm just giving you the simplest way of debugging for you. Understood? Simplest. It's so simple and you make the things complicated. So it's nothing but assigning a value. Only from one scope to another scope. Most of you would have tried yesterday. But you're not getting the output. Most of you. Okay, reasons are very simple. But you look for what error? Semicolon, stop that. Understood? So at least, see, this is how Java is very clear. And in passing arguments, only implicit casting will happen. Explicit casting cannot happen. Means if I am passing int now, here I cannot have byte and do type casting. Explicit casting cannot be possible. Is it clear to you? Now I cannot send M1A. I cannot do casting here. I cannot say A, send A now. Because explicit casting is not possible in arguments and parameters. But explicit casting is definitely possible in local scope. Byte B is equal to byte of A. This is valid. But not while sending arguments. So always when you send arguments, only implicit casting works, not explicit casting. Clear? And that is correct only. You might question how to do it, why didn't they give? It is correct. Why it's correct? Technically you see, I am writing some logic. I want value within that range only. I am restricting it now. I am restricting it. That's what I want. I do not want a value outside byte now, because my logic will go wrong here. So sometimes we restrict by writing what? Smaller type of parameters. But sometimes we give big range. And we have broader type of parameters. So that is the what is that? Feature Java gives you, or that's the strength Java gives you while programming. You can accept your value to any size. Understood? You can accept your value to any size. Either a short value you want, restrict it, big value you want, accept it. But I don't know about other languages. Java is very brilliant in this. Understood? So brilliant in this that it allows you to restrict the type of values also. Understood? It will allow you to restrict the type of values also. That's the big strength of Java. So I've told you much theory about this. Now I'll start coding and showing you all this now. First I'll go with one single double value. Then I'll start showing you two double, return type, all that. One by one you'll start seeing now. First purely I'll work with double values. Then I'll come to type casting later, implicit casting later. First all double I'll work. Okay, only same type I'll work. Double with double, boolean with boolean, char with char. I'll work like that only first. Then we'll see other, which one? Type casting. Into long, into double, that I'll show next. Are you clear with this? So first same type you will see. All the data types you can see. Okay. So you will start telling me the code actually now. So class. So that's what I told you many times. I insisted work on basic data types. Work on basic data types. I told you when I was teaching you data types, what did I insist on? It's the most important I told you. Same way return keyword is also so important. I'm telling you now itself. Practice return a lot. Later on don't struggle. Okay. So class, what we'll name now? Different type, different data. Different data args demo. Getting it done? You can give any name, but let it be meaningful. Different data I'll show as arguments once again. Okay, fine. Now the method name I'll take now. I'll take what? Void. Return type is void. I'll start off with M1 only. I've taken a new program, otherwise it would have been complicated then. If you want, you can write these methods also in which one? Previous class itself. So a class containing main can have any number of methods. Here I completed with how many methods? M6, M5. If you want, you can continue it. M6, M7 you can continue. Clear? Okay, otherwise you can write in a new program. It will be easy for you. How you want, how it's comfortable, code. So double. Z. Done? Now till now what I taught you for int applicable here. The argument and parameter can be same. If you modify the parameter value, it will not affect the argument value. Okay, now all the rules are same, but only I am concentrating on how to send values now. Clear? That and all you can try it out. So I'll have one double, okay, so to send this, double Z is equal to 5, and here I'll have double P. So SOP see, the idea is, again, don't forget, don't deviate. How do you send values from one scope to another scope? Same thing now. Because why do you want to send the values? The logic will be in different scope. You can't write all the logic in main method. Focus, that's the basic idea now. Simply don't make it as a big headache now. Argument, parameter, argument, don't make it as a headache. Always remember that logics will be written in other methods. Okay, and for that logic to execute, you have to send the values. It's compulsory. Understood? So since it's so compulsory, we are learning only how to send arguments and means how to send value from one scope to another scope. Scope means caller to callee, callee to caller. That's what we are learning. Logic we will write. We are still not concentrating on writing logics. Okay, so double P now. So I can write. What I'll write? Value of P is plus P. Done? Value of P is plus P. So then, okay, here value of Z also I'll print. Sorry, I should have printed it next. Done now? I'll make it very simple now. Inside M1. Here I have to change to Z. Okay. So compiles 5. Automatically add that suffix dot 0. If you want, you can give. This is also valid. If you don't give also, it will implicitly take it as dot 0. Clear? Clear with this? Okay. Next, I'll send float value. I'll write M2. I'll just see if I want. I'll just show you, but later on we'll see this. Int Z is equal to, now I can't say 5.0. Here only it will go error. Int Z is equal to 5 I can say. Okay. Anyway, I'll come back to this program. See, it's working. You're sending into what? Double. Yes. You kept your range in a broader way now. So and now P prints. Definitely it prints 5. Huh? M1 is not called. Sorry. Oh, it's not calling only. Yeah. Then you are also telling. Yeah, your favorite error right now. 1 second. What? Compiles, executes. Clear? If it is double, yesterday from double I was passing to it, it was not working. But into double is working now. So where you are giving is important. The destination is important. Okay, the destination is important. If your source is small, you can give it to bigger destination. If your destination, if your source is big, you cannot put it to smaller destination. Understood? Remember, I will tell you one simple way to remember this. Okay, every day you take bath, no? Remember this formula. You take bath, no? Definitely you have to take bath. Yes or no? So you will be using the tumbler and bucket. Bucket will go inside the tumbler or tumbler will go inside the bucket? Tumbler will go inside the bucket, no? Small thing will enter the big thing. Big thing cannot enter what? Small thing. That formula you remember. It will be helpful for you. Okay, smaller things can go into bigger things. Bigger things cannot come into small things. If at all you want to put the bucket inside the tumbler, you have to typecast. But typecasting is possible locally and it is not possible in arguments and parameters. Assign the value locally, it is possible. Are you clear with tumbler and bucket? Easy way to remember, man. because source small, destination big and all complicated. Understood? In a simple layman language I have taught you what is source and destination. Source is tumbler, bucket is destination. Okay, so like that you can see. Fine. Now, but see, I'll just show you again. I'll come back with these programs in a bigger way. Just if it is double, yesterday we were trying to do this. This is int. This is not possible. You are trying to give bigger value to smaller data type. See this. Just I change the two things. Again, I'll revert it back. This is double. That is int. It works. And you see here, if it is double and int, it will not work. Here, explicit casting are not given. I don't want double value here because my logic is depending completely on what? Int. You try to send also, I will not accept. That is why they are restricting. Clear? Anyway, these methods will come back later again. Okay, just hold back. I will continue with what? Other data types now. Okay, other data types. Casting and all we will see later. Casting in argument parameter we will see later. Okay, but first we will continue with other methods. So double and double only I will take. We will finish this. We will come back to this program, don't worry. So double and double. Next, what is that you want? Return type I will make what? Double. See, don't ask questions on typecasting now. Just focus on how do I send double, return double. Only concentrate on that. Typecasting I will come back later. Just I showed you the simple intro I gave you. Double. Understood? So return type should be what now? Double only. So I have to say double d is equal to 7. I can return any value now. What value? Either p or d. That's your issue. You are having two values. Return d you want, okay fine. D or p plus 7. Whatever value comes, I'll append it, means I'll add it with 7 and return. Anything, that's your wish, man. P plus 7. That's your wish. Any logic you want, but return type should be compulsory double now. So again I have to call which method now? So I have to change the name now. M2 inside M2. Okay. And value of P if you want you can print it in the beginning. That's up to you how you write your logics. Where you want you write, man. Value of P is okay. That's your wish. Return D. Then okay, I'll call M2 method now straight away. I'll comment this. I'll call M2. I have to send what value? Double I have to send compulsory. Otherwise I cannot call it. Return type is what? One more double. So I can have one more double. Double I'll take this as X. I'll send X. And I'll hold back the value in Y. Same way, you see now the return type is what? D now. I can accept it in what? Same name. Like how arguments and parameter can have same name. Your return type and the person who is accepting also can have the same name. They are in different scope, man. That's it. D is equal to, or I'll take a different name only if you're getting confused. Y is equal to 0. Done? So I'll call M2 now and I'll accept the value where now? Y is equal to. And I'll print only directly what? Value of Y. Focus on Y output now. So Y value should be what now? 12 now? Because you are adding it by 7. Just concentrate on this output. Value of Y is Y is 12. More print statements you add. That's your wish now. You'll understand the flow. And next, you want to send a boolean value? Double it. Okay, if I want I can send more double also. That's your wish now. You can write on M3 method now. And here you can have double A comma double D also is valid. Understood? So here when you want to call M3, you have to send two double. You have to send two double values. Or, yeah, this is about double. I'll do one thing, I'll change this. Okay, enough of double here. I'll take DOUBL, double arc schema. 1 second. Double arcs demo. I change the file name and we'll delete off the other file name which was there earlier. Different arcs. Okay. So this is the program now. I just change the file. Okay, because boolean I'll write it in another class. Character I'll write in other class. Like that. So are you clear with this program? You want anything to work with double now? You can have 3 parameters of type double also, 4 also. Combination I'll show you. 1 char, 1 double, 1 boolean, that also I'll show you. But right now only purely double. Any questions here? And for possible chances you can send what? Int value also. If you want you can send float value also. But that I'll come back later. Any questions with purely double? No? Okay. Next I'll show you how to send what? Boolean argstem. I'll send boolean values now. Boolean argstem. So I'll write on method now. Static void m1 boolean z. So compulsory for this method what I have to send now? I cannot send this here. See, int a is equal to 5. Can I send int a here? Not possible. So obviously I have to send what? Boolean b is equal to true. Whatever value you want you send. That's your wish. But I'll try showing you both. M1 and I'll try to send a. Error no. Why error? Incompatible. When you can't give it locally only, where is the question of sending argument? Just see here only I can't give. Like I'll say, forget calling the method. Can I say b is equal to a? I'll declare one variable. I'm not still calling the method. Still not calling I'm trying to give the value of a to b. Is it possible? Incompatible type. So it is not possible here. Where's the question of sending the argument? So this will not be possible. So if I want to call m1 now, compulsory I have to. If I want to call m1 method, compulsory I have to send only boolean and I'll send b. Just I'm sending, see I'm having only one print here. Just see that the same value will come here. If you want to print here SOP B is, you want me to print that is okay, locally you can print. But notice value of z is what? True. Value of z in m1 is true. See that? When you call m1 it will come here. I'm sending what value? Boolean value. If you want, you can send more, you can have a return type also. So look at the signature of the method now, carefully. How it goes on changing. What is the return type now? Boolean. Are you following? What is the method name? M2. And parameter, your wish. You want a boolean, you want to return a boolean, fine. That's your wish. Okay. So I'll have one more boolean here. Or you can return the same z also, no issue. I'll do what? Return z. Same value I'll give back. Or you return other value. But it should be of only boolean. Either true or false. Okay. Or you don't have a parameter. I'll make it more simple now. No parameter. I'll return what? True. You can hard code like this and return, or store it in a variable and return. That's your wish. So I'll comment this line now. So if you call M2, it will print in M1. That's it. In M1, it will definitely execute that. Return to. So I'm going to call M2 now. I'll accept boolean z is equal to M2. I'm just calling the method, but definitely I'll get back what? A boolean value. M2, and I'll print it. Done na? Value of z in main is. Correct, the value of z in main is true. I'm printing it twice, huh? I'm calling both methods. Okay, M1 also I'm calling, that's why. Okay. Value of z in main is true. That's it. Are you clear? Okay. Then more signature if you want, you can try. See, this is how you can go on trying now. This you all look out. Static void M3. What you want here? Boolean you tell. Return type Boolean, parameter Boolean. Char is still not Boolean. Huh? Boolean, only Boolean. What do you want? Return type parameter. How many parameters you want? 2 parameters of type Boolean. Boolean A comma Boolean P. Return type you want anything? Void. Or return type also I'll keep Boolean. See this. Fine. Value of A in M3 is plus A. Value of B I will print. Done? Okay. But return type also is very important. I have to return now. What value you want to return? Either A or B you return, or you can declare one more variable here and return. Boolean C is equal to, I'll return true value. That's your wish. So A, B, C, there are 3 values. I'll return C. Clear? So now to call this what I should do now? I have to send 2 arguments. Boolean X is equal to true. Sorry. X is equal to true. Boolean Y is equal to false. Then I'll call M3 now. M3 I have to send what? X comma Y. X and Y will be given to what? A and B. So A will be true, B will be false. And return type is what? Boolean Z. So it's simple. X will give to A, Y will give to B, C will give to Z. C will give by returning. It's in a different scope. So I can say value of Z in main is, what it will be? Value of Z in main? True. Yes. And these two what it will be? Value of A in M3 is true, false, return C. I have to put this one. Are you clear? So what is that we are returning now? Boolean value. Any questions? So I'll call which method now? M3. Huh? Where you are calling? Okay, already calling. Sorry. So Boolean Z is equal to M3. A in M3 is true, B in M3 is false, Z in main is true. As simple as this. Okay. Now next we'll go with char args demo. Character args I'll send. Okay. If you want float also I can show. That also we'll see. But see, definitely double, int, boolean are extensively used. Float, char, I'll show you, but they are not used. Okay. Among the 8 primitive types, we never use byte, short, float, and long also we use. Okay, we extensively use char. Byte, short, float and char we don't use. Other 4 are there now. Int, long, double and boolean. We extensively use it. That's why I'm concentrating more on int, double, boolean. Okay. Long is same as int. Okay. So char, float not important, but I'll show you because you have curiosity. But I'll show it to you. Okay. Just finish it off fast. File new Java you can say char args demo. So I'll have a method and send on char. So the parameters of type what now? Char now. So and I have to print it. Done? Okay. But to call this method I have to send on char value. So I write char C is equal to single quote. You know how to write a char value, no? Work locally, man. Automatically you know how to send to arguments. Work locally. I'm telling you, work locally. You didn't work locally. That's why you're having the confusion. Okay. So now it will come now. It will print now. I'll just directly call. I'll just call it in. Sorry. This is, I have to call it now. M1 C. That's it. But I cannot send int no. A. That's it. Okay. Now I'll have one more. Return type as what? Char. Same way I can have return type as, you can have multiple parameters of type char. All that you try now. Char M2. Parameter I will not keep anything. So when I call this one, I have to return what? Int, sorry, char C is equal to single quote. I'll return capital D. And let's say return C. This is one way, or you could have written it in two lines like this, or in one line only you can write what. So sometimes code looks confusing, but don't get confused. These are all valid code. This is a literal what I am returning. Literal, no, I taught you all the literals. So I can return like this also. So I'll call M2 now. But when I call it, what is the return type? Char C is equal to M2. And I'll comment this C. Clear? So char C is equal to M2. I'm calling it now. So when I call it, it should print. What it should print? Value of C is plus C. Understood? Done? The value of C is capital C. C is a value, C is a variable. Again, don't get confused. One C is a value, other C is a variable. This is variable, man. For this variable, I am storing a value of capital C. So I have to change that also. No? Okay. See how much I get tired in teaching you basics. Everything you want. One at least you will try, yeah? Nothing you will try. Simply sit in class and say what? Sir, I want boolean and byte. I want byte and short. Aren't you shameless, sir? You have to try all this. Clear? Anyway, can't do anything. Okay? Because again you will tell, sir did not teach. I'll continue. Okay, you practice all this. So I completed with what? Char, float if you want, you can try. So you try with what? Okay, float, I'll show you. One float will be interesting. Float arcs demo. Whatever output I show you, means what? When are you going to type and see there? Yes, very interesting now. Float, F. You have tried this many times, which you have not got the output. That's why I am typing and showing it to you. We never use float. Means float is what? Single precision value. That's why we don't use float. There is a reason. Double D means double precision value. So that's why we want to use double only extensively. We don't bother about memory. We want proper output. In program you want memory, or bothered about memory or output? Output, no. Correct output you want, no. And that's why I don't use float, because they carry single precision values. Single precision means single, very short decimals, then you can use it. But very small range or very big range, better you go for double. Okay. So 10.2 and all you can go for float, because they'll be going with single, but more values will come up in the decimal, in the fractional. Better you go for double, or blindly follow double, man. It's a standard. Every developer in Java in the industry will be going with only 4 data types. He never uses byte, he never uses short, because we are not bothered about memory. So always you have a very bad habit. You will not even write one line of code. One line of code also you will not write. Int I. Immediately you start thinking, oh, how much memory? First get output for your program, man. How much memory is required? I will supply. Without writing, getting output only, you think about what? Memory. 5 KB, 10 KB, 20 KB or 20 MB. So much of memory wasted. First get output. First write application. Your application is only not running. Tell finally how much memory is required for your application. Then it can be supplied. Hardly you are writing one line of code, two line of code, and think about memory means what will happen. So do not bother about memory here. Okay, so that's why in companies also what they do, blindly they follow some convention. What they use extensively, byte, int, double, boolean, and one more is long. They might use long. So other four they will not use. So when they are not using that, you go there and start using byte, short, and all. It will be irritating. Understood? You will be thinking about your own memory. Okay, but actually they will be laughing at that code. Java is giving you the support, but will not use it for programming. Are you clear with this now? So pay more attention to the things which are used extensively. I'm clarifying because what happens now, when you're learning a language, somebody should definitely guide you. What is important, what is not important. If you go in the theoretical way of the book, what will happen? Book gives you all the information, but where to stress, where not to stress, you will not understand. So I am teaching you Java based on experience now. Based on experience of what? Coding applications. In application what is needed, I am focusing Java to that point of view. Java has been taught in two ways for you. One as a language I am teaching you. Other side I am teaching Java is from application point of view. Two sides you have to see. Only language point of view, then you start working with what? Bitwise operator, byte, char. Waste of time. And those things are never used in application. Why do you want to waste unnecessary time there? So what is required actually, start focusing on that. Yeah? So just I'll show you how to work with this. So system .out.println. Yeah, you want to call this method. So how will you call this now? You have to send a value. Float z is equal to 1.5. Will it work? First of all, assigning is wrong. So it will not compile. You are still not calling the method. Static void, sorry, you have not written the method name also. M1, correct? Huh? So you are still not calling the method. But still you will get the error where? Loss of precision. You are trying to give double precision value to float. That is wrong. Sorry. F you make. Now it works. Okay, anyway I am not printing it. So if I want I can send the argument. How will I send? M1 I will call and I will send Z. That's it. But if I send double, it will not work. Double to float will not work. Float to double will work. Understood? So this is how it works. So you first make it a single precision and then send the value. If you don't add F, it will be taken as what? Double precision value. Okay. And then return type, you can do it now. Okay, last one I will show you. This is float. No parameter. If you want, you can have two. Okay, that we'll see. Two float, return float, that you do. Just I'm concentrating on this now. So float Z is equal to 1.5f. I'll call M2 method and I'll not send anything and I'll print the value of, I accept it here. Value of Z is, see here the return keyword I'm using, but what is the value I'm returning? Z. So the return type becomes what? Float. So return Z. So I'm calling M2 now and I'll accept it in float. F valid. This is M2 method. Change the method name. So value of Z is in M2 is same value will be given to what? In main is. Yeah, value of Z in M2 is 1.5. Value of F in M main is 1.5. So all data types are over. So now we'll see typecasting rules. Then I'll go to permutation and combination of other things. Understood? Typecasting rules I'll show you now. Then I'll show one parameter as int, one parameter as double, one as boolean. That I'll show you. Permutation and combination. Yeah? So anyway, these all data types are over now. Now we'll go with typecasting. I want to send int. Now who can accept it? Int can be accepted in what? whatever is possible locally, you try it out. That is possible in argument. Do you want me to show that? Only for double I show. I'll keep double. Just see this, only one I show. Now, casting arcs demo. See, my parameter, I'll keep it as int. Now I can send what? Byte chart int, anything I can send. Okay. Say I'll send a byte byte. I'll take I is equal to 12. Valid now, and that I can send now. And just writing it in 2 lines, finishing it off. See, definitely it compiles and Z prints. I'll change it to short. So what all can be accepted int, you only see now. Control to works. Int works. Okay, but the same with float. Can float be given to int? No, it cannot be given. So in float cannot be given, long cannot be given, double cannot be given. Definitely you check it out now. So what is, first try locally, man. You don't have to struggle in what? Argument and parameter. Try locally. If it is possible, then you replace that value here, that's it. Okay, so it is not possible. Then if I want, I'll try with double. It is not possible. Double also is not possible. But ulta I'll do now. I'll take double this side, and now I'll bring. Here you send anything. Byte you want to send. But it will take the value of double precision. After accepting, it will make it double precision. Then short you want. Provided it's compatible. See, it should be within range, compatible, type, size, range, all will be applicable now. Done? So then int. See, I'm sending all decimal values. Still not sending any fractional values. Fine. Long. Fine. Double will anyway go. Float will give compilation error here first. Okay, anyway it's compiling. Float it will, okay, it's compiling now. Means you should have F. Otherwise, if you add dot, you should have dot means like this you have to add F. Else it will be implicitly taken as floating value. Now see, this time it will not compile. So that time if you add the decimal, you should add F. Single precision you have to do. Done? So don't bother about float, so you can accept anything now. But I cannot send boolean value, totally incompatible. I cannot send char value. Done now? So this is how the casting works. So now we'll go with different data types now. Different arcs demo. Only one. Okay. 1 second. Let me go back to the return type rules. Casting, I didn't talk about return type rules. Okay, M2 I'll show you. I'll come back to this program. Okay, return type I'll make it as int. So what you can return now? I'll not concentrate on parameter now. I'll be concentrating on return type. Byte value, see, byte chart can be done. What if I want to return a double value? Double value can't return. Just int you know return type. Byte also I try, it will work. Short also it will work. I'll try to return what? Double value. Double D is equal to 1.5. What rules were applicable there? Same rules will be applicable here. Value of D is, you want to print, return D. I'll just compile, forget calling, okay, call the method M2, no argument to be sent, okay, I'll try to accept it. Now what will you accept? You'll try to accept it as int, no? Because see, the caller of the method, he'll be seeing only this part, will not see the logic. So he's expecting int value there and he tries to store it now. Int A is equal to M2 is calling. But you are returning a double value. Now how can that value be stored here? So this is detected at compilation. So the compiler is type checking all the data and their values. Arguments, parameter, return type, the person who is accepting the return type, all should be of the same type. Else error. So this is a big advantage or boon, you can say. You know what is a boon? Plus point. What Java is giving to the developers. All these things are getting resolved at when? Compilation time. In C, only junk and restart computer. Here all those problems are avoided. See, imagine restarting a computer and debugging every time rather than compilation problems. Which one is easy language now? Java, no. There you have to go on restarting computer, no. Some value you'll get, something you try to process, and finally you'll try to use that value, computer will start printing junk values and you have to restart. Big headache it is. But here those problems are not occurring for you. This is the biggest boon what you are getting. And obviously it might look initially tough to learn, but you have got great benefits here. Why it is tough for you means you are not putting effort. That's the only reason. You put efforts. Basic you put efforts. I am not telling you to focus on what? Methods. Locally you try. What value can be given to what variable. There you try, fully you try today. Then you come here. You can write methods brilliantly. Don't even try writing methods first. First try locally. What you can give, what you cannot give. All errors you should know. Then automatic, this is very simple now. Okay. But it will become very easy now. Down the lane it will become very easy to you. Because it will become easy for you. Clear? So most of your problems will be avoided at runtime in Java. That's one big boon what you get here. So Java syntax is very powerful, elegant, neat, clean. As compared to what? C syntax and C++ syntax. Understood? I'll talk about all the problems of writing a method signature in C. Writing a method signature in C is so complicated. Okay, you'll have pointer, int, that story, this story, so many things are there. Here nothing is there, neat, clean. What data type, what value, very clean it is. There void pointer, null pointer, so many are there. Pointer only on big subject. File pointer, okay, dangling pointer, what all pointer. Finally you will become pointless and headless. So their argument and parameters are very tough. So tough. Here I am almost all finished all data types in one day. In C, if you want all data types, try in one day. It will not be possible. It will take minimum 1 month to learn how to send what? Arguments and parameters. 1 month you will take. Clear? So it's a very easy language, only effort is required here. Go on practicing locally whenever you go. When you get locally means understood now. In main method, int a is equal to 10, int b is equal to 5. Int b is equal to a. If a value can give it to b, immediately make int b as parameter. No problem. Just telling you easy way to debug. But don't make it a practice every time. Try there, put it here, try there, put it there. With that you will start getting the clear idea. Clear? Okay. So this is done. So here, now if I want, I should return it as what? Make the return type as what? Double. But who is accepting there? Int, no, not possible. Loss of precision. Found double. You are using int there. Okay, some error it gives. So obviously I have to use it as what? Double. Same rules are applicable. What you learnt in arguments and parameter, same rules are applicable. Now it works. Value of, I didn't print here. If you want to print value of a in main is, you are getting the value. A in main is plus a. Then in D also, see it is printing D in M2 also, and it is printing D in main also. Both the places it prints. Clear? Try now, return type all casting you can try. Okay, so I'll close all this and now I'll go with what? Different arcs demo. Different we'll see now. Now you go on to tell what is the combination you want. I'll type void M1. What combination you want, you tell in parameters. You want an int and double. Int A means whatever doubts you got yesterday while coding, you can put it here. I'll clarify your doubt. I asked you to code and come now yesterday, and while coding you will get doubt. I told you that doubt you put, I'll clarify it for you now. Double D. Okay, so A and D is plus A. I can print it in same line or two lines, that's your wish. Clear? You can print it in same line or two lines. I am printing both. Value of A and D is plus A plus D. Done now? Okay. What is the return type you want? Void only or int? What you want? Return type what you want? Parameter is one int, one double. Return type what you want? Huh? Boolean, char, what you want? Void? Boolean you want? Done. Let's see how to call this method now. Yes, sir. I haven't said this. Okay, now main wants to call M1 method. So first argument is of type int. So you can send a value within int range. Same rules applicable now. Okay, so I can send what? I can directly hard code 10. Understood? Comma. Now this is what? 23. Now 10 is what? Int value. 23 is what? It will be taken as double value. But see, if I add D, you know what is the rule now? D becomes what? It's a literal, but it is considered as double value. This will not go to int now. It will give error. Sorry, many things have to be done now. 1 second. We have to return one boolean value now. Boolean B. First I'll get the output for you. Then I'll show you all that. Wrong errors. 10 and 23. If you want, you can hard code. 1 second. I'll not hard code and send it. I'll send int A is equal to 10. Double D is equal to 2.9. Fine, then I'll be sending A comma B, boolean B is equal to false. Any value you can send. Return B. So I can call the method, it's not an issue. I'm not accepting the return type, no problem. If you are not accepting the return type, no issue. But code is 100% correct now. Done. We'll call it done. Compiles. Now begin main, begin M1, value of A and D is 10 and 2.9. End of M1, end of main. Are you clear? If I want, I'll accept the return type. Boolean B is equal to end of main. Okay, I'll print 1 second. So value of B in main is what? False. Clear? Okay. So if you want, you can send like this, or you can send it as a literal, like this here. Directly you can say what? 10, comma 2.9 also valid. Literal values. And this you comment down if you want. Comment. Still the same, no difference. But you know that now if you add a D to a literal value, it becomes what? Double. Capital or small? Error. Because you are sending double value to int. You enforced it to become double. Adding D, like how if you add F, it becomes single precision. Like that, if you want, you can make it double. D. If you add L, it becomes long. Understood? Sorry, clear? So this will give error because you are sending a double value to int. Fine. But if I say 2.9D, this will work fine because you are sending double to double. This is literal. Most of it you have tried hard coding like this. That's why I'm showing you that also. Still perfect. Okay. Any other signature you want? Any other signature? You can send anything. Char also it can be added. If you want, I'll add on char here. Same I'll add. Char C. And I'll print. Value of C in M1 is. What value I'll send? I can hard code and send comma, but this time it will not compile now because you are not sending the character value. It checks. Arguments and parameters should strictly match. Okay, so you're not sending it. So I can give it in hard code and give it in single quote only. I'll give it as capital Z, valid. Or store it in a variable and send. What is the value C I use now? Value of C in M1 is Z. Valid code. All your SCJP questions will be this only. Whatever examples I showed you now, most of them are SCJP questions. Most of them. But it's applying only normal basics. You want to write SCJP exam now? Check out later, you'll understand. Now you don't read. As the course progresses and you'll start preparing yourself for SCJP exam, that time you can notice most of these examples what I thought you are related to SCJP itself. Plus it is covering what? Complete reference also. In complete reference they are not giving you in depth so much. So what I do? I shift to some other book. When some other topic comes now becomes very important, that time that topic I'll take from 3-4 books and start giving it to you like this. Normally I'll be using complete reference, but when topic becomes really important, now return keyword, argument, parameter and all, I'm focusing on multiple books. Understood? Basic things, operator, key operator and all, you learn it in any book, they remain same. Understood? So we are going in that way now. Yeah? So you continue with which one? Time being you continue with complete reference only. After 20 days you can start referring to advanced books now. Yeah? After 20-30 days I will only tell you. You can refer to the examples there, you will understand. Because they are still more advanced. They are still more powerful examples they will give, which right now you can't follow. Yeah? Understood? Now I told you, end of the day you have to reach René and Martin one day. You start from LKG book, you have to go to René and Martin one day. And there is no shortcut to it. You have to take what? For learning English you have to spend 22 years. Ask yourself question. It was required, but still you didn't learn properly. And similarly learn Java, but it will not take 22 years. Just give me 5 months, you will be professional in Java. 5 months, that much you can't give. And now you are speaking with what? Computer, imagine. Your capacity. Yes or no? You don't know how to talk with human beings, but you are already getting the capacity to talk with computers. Yes or no? So languages are used for what? Communication. Yeah, you are learning a language to communicate with what now? Computer. You are learning computer language, man. Computer cannot speak your language. Why? It does not know English, Kannada, Hindi and all that. So it is not interested to talk to you. You are interested to communicate with that. Yes or no? So if you want to make your girlfriend, what should you do? You have to go and talk to her. Yes or no? Yes, like that only it is. So who is interested in communicating is very important here. So we are learning a language to communicate with the computer, and this is the easiest. Like this, plenty of languages have come. Not 1, 2. But Java is found to be the easiest. Okay, any other signature you want, you can tell. I'll write it. If you understand the basic data types, normally in local scope, all this becomes very easy to you. But if you start seeing Directly if I had shown you this M1 method, you wouldn't have understood today. After so much of coding, we reached this level. Okay, initially I taught you basic data types, assignment operators, all that I covered. Because of that, if you look at the code, you're understanding now. Else it would have been really difficult. So here writing logic we are not finding difficult. Holding values, carrying values from one scope to another scope, returning value from one scope to another scope, these are very important topics. Are you clear with this? So sufficiently I've given more examples on methods today. Practice methods. Okay, right now I think next class I'll be showing you how to send argument, which one? Multiple values. Arrays I'll show you. If I teach you now, it will become overloaded. So I'll teach you arrays, how to send array as an argument and how to return array as an argument. You can try and come. Again, I know that you'll get error. I'll debug it. Okay, but practice, make it a habit. If you have an error and sit in the class, it is more beneficial to you because your doubts will start getting clearer. No doubt, without coding also, if you sit in the class, you'll understand. But imagine coding and then coming to class and then understanding the subject gives you a different approach only. Do it. Every class you have to go and code. Understood? Your thinking level changes, man, and I'm only making you think. All these days you didn't think. Did you think all these days? Blindly you are following, no? Do this means do that. Do this means I can do that. Blindly you are following. Okay, that should not happen. You should start thinking yourself and start taking right steps. Clear? So arrays I'll do. After that, all this we'll start moving into user defined type. That is nothing but class, object, that subject will start. Object oriented concepts. One last topic, and after arrays, sorry, two more topics are pending. Which one? Life and scope of variable in blocks. Life and scope of variable in methods. Okay, so to understand those two topics, these are all very important. Otherwise you'll never understand them. So they are very important. Clear with all this? You have any questions? No? Okay, we'll do it with array in the next class. Okay, hold on till then. So data types I have covered, primitive types. So you can you can send any number of values. Remember that. Returning single value. But if you want to return multiple values, I'll show you. But you'll be using homogeneous values means array. Combination of multiple values of user defined means combination multiple different type of values, user defined type. I'll be showing you that. Don't worry. Clear? Okay, that's it.